What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel. Just giving a shout out to the rest of the crew and for everyone who's tuning in. I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make this show the best that it can be. Now, I wanted to talk about one of the surprise teams of the NBA so far at the beginning of this season, and I'm talking about the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, who basically have been struggling ever since James Harden requested their trade to the Brooklyn Nets during the 2020-21 season. And they have been in transition, basically rebuilding with a young talent. And they started off with Stephen Silas as the head coach, once James Harden asked to be traded. And they have since replaced him with Ime Udoka. And I must say, I think his coaching is starting to make a difference down there in Houston. And surprisingly, after 6 games, this team is 3-3. This team is 3-3. And I keep alluding to the fact that this Western Conference is so deep that even the teams that are supposed to be bottom tier, they can catch you on any given night, especially if they're playing at home. So they're 3-3, tied with multiple teams. As of right now, technically, they have a better record than the Phoenix Suns. Technically, they have a better record than the Sacramento Kings, who ultimately they defeated last night by the score of 122-97. Now, the Kings are missing De'Aaron Fox, who, sprained his ankle during that game versus the Lakers, where Sacramento stayed off the Laker rally and defeated them in overtime. But ever since then, Fox has been out of the lineup. But nonetheless, the Houston Rockets are starting to win basketball games. And it's because they are benefiting from developing their young players. And also, after signing Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks this offseason, their contribution and their veteranship and experience is elevating the young players around them, particularly Jalen Green, who had 23 points last night, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Fred VanVleet tallied 11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Alperen Sengun, their young center, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists. And he can play. And what I'm starting to notice, as far as international players, the center position is slowly regaining prominence in the NBA. And I believe that's due to the success of the Nikola Jokic's of the world, the Joel Embiid's, and the Giannis Antetokounmpo's. Even though Giannis is technically a power forward, but he's 7 feet tall. So, his height is that of a center, but he plays like a power forward, But at the end of the day, the center position is starting to regain prominence throughout the league. And that's a great thing. And to me, with the center position regaining prominence, it produces a complete form of basketball. And I believe more teams across the league are starting to realize that and starting to go away from this so-called small ball or more, or I should say positionless basketball. And teams are starting to basically go back to basics and build more traditional bound teams, which you could never really replace the fundamentals of the game, no matter what you try to do. But nonetheless, then Jabari Smith, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Dylan Brooks, 9 points, 6 rebounds. But his tenacity on defense is starting to pay dividends. They have 5 players in double figures, including Aaron Holiday with 13 points. And then Tashawn Tate tallied 8 points or whatnot. And they're getting some quality production from their bench. Like I said, they're 3-3. And I said, this Western Conference, there really is no night off. In the grand scheme of things, I'll put it this way. You cannot prepare for a game thinking that you're going to have an easy night. because you mess around and you can get beat, especially if you're playing on the road. So that's why I believe outside of Denver, I don't see nobody in the conference that's going to win 60 games. And technically that could include Denver, but I believe that the Nuggets, as defending champions, are stronger and deeper as a team than they were last year when they won their first championship. You continue to build on what you have, mainly through the draft, and you become stronger and your foundation becomes even greater. But the Houston Rockets are 3-3. And like I said, who knows? They play the Lakers tomorrow. And the Lakers have lost, 2 straight? They lost all their road games so far this season. And Houston may be able to upset them and catch them. So me personally, I think this is great for the NBA. And it's a further testament proving that this win now mentality, stacking the deck, mortgaging your future is no longer the way to go. And really, it never really was. It never really was at the end of the day. So I just want to give kudos to the Houston Rockets. It was predicted to, be one of the struggling teams. Not to say, eventually they may struggle throughout the course of the season. But as of right now, they have a better start than they had last season and the year before. So that's an improvement, and they have upside. And, who knows, within a couple of years, with a move here or there, they can be right back as the Houston Rockets that we knew throughout the course of the James Harden years. So I just want to drop that nugget. Until next time, this is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.